Today is the end of a year and then the beginning of a new year. And we human beings actually think there are demarcations. I mean, we know inside nothing ends, nothing begins, really. It's an ongoing continuum of transformative fractal energy that just moves forever. And yet, we're given this wonderful illusion that there's a beginning and an end, and that somehow 2017 will end tonight, and everything that went with it will be gone, and 2018 will be like a fresh book, which none of us is really knowing to be true, but it's the feeling of it is a good feeling, that something new can happen. Of course, the reality is that every minute is new. Anything can happen at any time. Everything will happen. And in the non-dualistic vision of things, nothing is happening. So you can buy into any part of the equation that you want, whatever feels sustaining for you and helpful for you. But I know that for me, I've become increasingly aware of the non-changing changeability of life, that the predictable thing is, of course, change is always happening, and therefore nothing changes, because it's always there. It's always a constant. Change is always happening. So once you accept that, nothing changes, except everything. And grappling with change is basically an investment in something that was and that something that will be. So therefore, if you really believe that there is a was and a will be, then this changeability goes on and on and on, and you become invested in it. Not only invested in loss of what was and hope for what will be, but in a state of constant dialogue between these two places, and something fundamental gets lost in that equation, which is right now. The simple reality of right now. And for most people, right now is a space to look back and forward, but it isn't really a space to be, because what's important in now other than what's going to happen and what already happened? Most people see no value in the present tense. And they don't see value in the present tense because it's constantly shifting. It's always moving. And there's no real feeling that it can be held, that the present can actually be invested in, that it can actually have concrete value. And in many ways that's true, because those who are caught in time see time doesn't stop. It's ongoing. You know, it's always moving through us, it's moving beyond us, it's carrying us forward, it's reflecting backwards. It's a constant amalgamation of moving energies. But yet, there is, if you want to find it, the still point, the still moment that doesn't participate in the past and doesn't participate in the future. It just goes, It's a restorative space. It's a place of retreat. It's a place of recreative energy. It brings you back into balance, into harmony. It's a space of ease, a space of grateful reconfiguring of your being. And it's there every second. The terrible imbalance that people experience in their day-to-day life is they never go to where they are. They're always in pursuit of, running toward, fighting off, holding on to what was and what they want to be. And the whole spiritual idea is, whoa, just stop for a moment. Just take a breath. Just sit still. Just feel this amazing present tense. And what happens when you go deeply into the present tense, and this is really the core element, you have to go deep into it. But when you go into it, it has all of the flavor, all of the nuance, all of the smell, the perfume, the deliciousness of everything that will come out of it. Your dinner tonight, the love affair of 20 years ago, all of that is contained in this very second. This second has it all. All that will be, all that was, right here, now. And if you move into it, and usually it's perceived as a kind of digging deep, but it can also be an opening out. But whatever it is to you, sit down and be still and let it happen. And when it happens, what you discover is, this is how I want to be. This is what I've been looking for. It doesn't come out of the hamburger you're going to have tomorrow night. Forgive me, vegetarians, or whatever, the best green pepper you've ever eaten. It really doesn't come out of the next thing. It comes out of this thing. It comes out of this very second. And people don't believe me, because this movement is so great, that it's moving so fast, that we have no sense of repose. We have no sense of the still moment. And you have to make it happen. It doesn't happen by itself. Finding stillness is a muscular achievement. It is stopping all of your outer investment for one brief moment of real deep digging into who and what you are now. Mostly what it takes is a concerted, disciplined effort to stop everything and just be. Now, of course, in this particular practice, we have a work that we do, something we do, a breathing exercise. Other practices have so many other things, mantra work and staring at things and candles and whatever it is that you've decided is your mode of stillness. But find the thing and then do it. If you're casual about it, if you're occasional about it, it has no lasting value. If what you really want in life is to touch the core, to feel the depth of who and what you are, you have to have a discipline. And the word that Rudy used to use all the time as that which gets in the way of this discipline, and a word that influences many of our lives in a very, what I would call, negative aspect, is the word resistance. You can also use lazy, distracted, unmotivated, thousands of ways of looking at how badly one tends to live life. But the way we fight life is called resistance. We resist doing the disciplined thing. We resist the effort that's required to really, what Rudy would call, grow as a human being. I'm not even talking a spiritual being. I'm talking grow as a human being. And if you want to grow, you have to take the time and sit down and feel this present tense, which is ultimately the liberating force of your life. It's the joy of your life. It's the core element. It is the heart of your being. And every resistance you have to doing that is what keeps you in a state of suffering. And people live in a state of suffering because they're resistant. Because they don't like discipline. They don't like the same thing over and over and over. But here's the reward of the same thing over and over and over. When you sit down and you come into the space of your own present tense, what opens up to you is something so beyond your day-to-day experience, so beyond the norm of human life. You enter into vastness, into attunement, into something beyond anything you can imagine, speaking to you, informing you, guiding you, addressing you. You are connected to reality, you're connected to love, you're connected to truth, to beauty, to God. That's the doorway to everything. And why resist it? Why would you say, not right now, I have more important things to do. I got to get the car fixed. I got to go to work. I got to do this. I got to take care of the kids. I mean, we have one excuse, good excuses, but excuses all the time for not doing. I didn't get enough sleep. I don't want to get up early in the morning. I don't want to meditate. I don't want. Fine, don't do it. Don't do it. And live the life of most human beings. And I now, having been a teacher for so long and witnessed so many lives from a place of a certain kind of clarity, see mostly people digging their own graves and locking themselves in their own coffins and living these deadly lives long before they leave the world. It is a horrible thing. I really look at people who suffer unbearable sadness and unhappiness and blame the world and blame everything and don't know where the problem comes from. Is their parents' fault? Is their teacher's fault? Is their friend's fault? There's no fault. There's no blame. You're the one that's causing the problem because you're not becoming disciplined enough to sit still and find the thing that you want everyone else to deliver. Nobody's going to deliver it because they don't have it. It doesn't come from other people. It doesn't come from anything outside you. It may temporarily. You meet the woman of your dreams, the guy of your dreams. You meet the thing you've always wanted. And for 6 months or a year, yeah, maybe. But then reality sets in. You know, they pick their nose, they fart. You got all these issues of the human issues, and people start to disappoint you on some level, and they don't live up to the thing you projected that they would be and could be and should be. And then you have to deal with their failures and your failures. And nobody's failed. You're just human. We're just human. But the best thing about being human is that if we go deep enough inside, we find the thing that is spiritually uplifted, the thing that is not limited by our human nature. We find this thing that is so rich, so beautiful, so uplifting in the best sense of the word, carrying us out of our normal, limited human mind into something great, grand, beautiful. And why do we resist it? What's the thing inside us that resists this beautiful quality of being? Again, you can try to find out what the source is of your resistance. Find out why you don't sit every morning. Find out why you don't want to do this practice. Find out why you don't want to take a breath. Find out why you want to do it later or tomorrow or next week or whatever. Or, you know, sign up for the gym. It's, you know, New Year's tomorrow. Everybody's going to go to the gym. And find out what happens, you know, come February and come March. That's when you'll see resistance at work. I can't go to the gym today. You know, I can't do this every day. I've got too many other things happening. You know, it's too hard. Da, 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 da. And so, you know, come March, nobody's in the gym. And I remember watching that at the gym. You'd see less and less people. I mean, big January. Kind of modest February, March, nobody's there. You know, they've all done it. They've all had their moment. Spiritual work is a discipline that takes a life's practice. Every day, sit for 20 minutes, take that breath, open to the universe, and the universe will pay attention. If you're a regular and you show up, people will know your name. The universe will know your name. It'll greet you in the morning. It'll say, hey, come on in. It's great to see you. How you doing? It has an invitation, a constant invitation. And if you come and you sit and you do it, this amazing thing happens. You become uplifted by your own present tense. You find the thing you're looking for. You find that it's not hidden, it's not invisible, it's not secret. It's right in front of you all the time. It's right here. It's not there, it's right here. And all you have to do is go, why would anybody not want to do that? Why? It's crazy. Because the reward, if you want to look at it as a reward, is so immediate and so full and so vibrant and so beautiful and so fulfilling. It gives you everything you wanted everyone else in the world to give you, and you don't have to walk around blaming them for failing to do it. It's not their problem. There's no problem. You have all the access you need to the very thing you want, and just go there. Just do it. No big deal. After a while, if you can get past resistance, if you can get past your resistance, you will find you have access to the very thing that makes your life exactly what you had hoped and prayed it would become. Totally up to you. Nobody else. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else can do it for you. If you come here thinking I'm doing it for you, you're completely wrong. What really is doing it for you is that you came here, that you got in the car, or you walked, or you did whatever it had to be to get here. I often tell this story when, just early lesson for me was that I was supposed to go to Rudy's class, and I wanted to go to the movies. I said, I could go to a movie. I don't need to go to Rudy's class. I could just go out and have a good night. Well, I am free. I am liberated. I don't need to go to Rudy. I could go do whatever I want. So I'm starting to drive to the movies, and this thing in me goes, uh-oh. Nope. The mere fact that I was resisting Rudy's class so strongly made me stop the car and turn around and go back to the class. And I sat in that class saying, why did I bother to come here? This is so crazy. I should have gone to the movies. And then something happened. I had the best class I ever had in my whole life. And it came because I worked against my own resistance. I turned it around. It's when you have no resistance, go to the movies. But when you have resistance, it's a signal. Make an effort. You have to do it. Nobody else does it. Nobody else turns the car around. Nobody else makes the effort. You have to make that effort. That's your part of the bargain in spiritual practice. You have to bring yourself to the table, and then the table reveals the smorgasbord of possibilities that it offers for everybody. You get to eat at that table because you come to the table. Don't come to the table, you get nothing. Or you may get fast food somewhere down the block, pick up a hot dog or something. But this is a meal, this is substantial, this is what you're looking for. And this new year, you can make a vow to yourself, which is one of the nice things about the new year, is I am going to sit and be in touch with me. I'm going to be in touch with the powers that be, with the God within, with love and beauty and truth and all that resides on the inner being. I'm going to do that every day. That's my resolution. I want to break down the resistance to this and actually show up. And I will promise you, if you do that, something comes as a result. If you went to the gym every day for the next year, next December 31st, you'll look in the mirror and you will be a different person. If you sit and meditate every day, and 20 minutes a day, you find your way in, you find your way into the exploration of vastness that you are, next, the 31st of 2018, you will be a different person. You will. Just that's how it works. You will be extraordinarily expanded on some fundamental level. It's completely up to you. Nobody else, no one else can do it. Even coming here isn't exactly the answer. Again, the effort to be here is more the reality than the being here, because you have overcome something. You have fought the thing that says, oh, I could be doing other things. You went against yourself in the best way. You overcome your ego-minded self, the thing that drives your life so much. You basically go, no, no. I am retraining my ego to break down resistance. I am going to go against the lowest pull in myself and reach for something higher. I am taking charge of this ego-minded being. That is the core of the spiritual evolution that takes place. You start to be in charge. You, not the lesser you, not the ego-minded, lazy you, the higher-minded you, starts to run the show, and it just says no to all the stuff that gets in the way. That's how you grow. That's how you become a realized human being. Otherwise, you just become like, in a way, everybody else. I don't know, I don't want to describe everybody's life in negative terms, but many people's lives are very unstructured, very sloppy, very lazy, very incomplete, very unsatisfying, very unresolved, and they end up in the end, it was like, what was that? what was that? What was that all about? Well, it wasn't about anything. It was a complete waste of time, really, on some level. And you don't want that to be the case. You don't want to have a life that's a waste of time. You don't want to get to the end and go, what was that? You want to go, I touched the universe. I touched the ineffable. I saw beauty. I experienced truth. I saw who I was. I knew myself. I found the love of life. I mean, that's what you want. And if you don't get that, what's going on? What's the purpose of this whole undertaking? I mean, why did the universe make itself into this extraordinary space? Why? Well, like I say, pretty much week after week, for you. It did it for you. Who else? Who else did it do it for? Everybody but you? It's going to give everybody but you an opportunity to have joy and love? No, it did it for you. It built the world for you. It may not give you, a $20 million house. It may not give you, diamonds and jewels or whatever it is you think you should have to make this, become meaningful. What does it give you? It gives you you. And I can tell you, I mean, every cliche in the book, but you can live in a $20 million house and not know any of what I'm talking about. And you will have missed the boat entirely. You will have missed everything. That $20 million house disappears with your body. It all goes away. This thing that's within, I mean, I may be wrong about this, but my sense of it is it doesn't go anywhere. It's the source. It's what you always are. You get to be with you forever. You don't get to be with your house or your body or your family and friends. You get to be with you. But you don't want to meet you on the way out. That's not the time to find out who you are or who you've been. That's a terrible moment. Like, oh, that's me, gone. It's like, poof, what was that? You have a whole lifetime to truly enter into this exquisite space. And it's so hard for me. It's so frustrating because, one, I knew how much time and effort it took to arrive at that space. Even though I was always there, I wasn't seeing it. I was reaching for it. I was trying. I was doing all of this stuff. I was meditating. I was going to Rudy's classes. I was moving to ashrams. I gave up so many things to have this spiritual life. The only thing that came out of that was that the universe looked at me and said, this guy's serious. This guy means what he said. He's doing everything. Walked away from, curatorial job at a, major museum in New York. Walked away from, so many situations because I wanted to feel what I'm feeling. And I think the universe just finally goes, okay, give it to him. He really wants it. And, but if you don't really want it, it doesn't, why should it give it to you? What's the purpose of handing it all over to you and you go, okay. Which is really what a lot of people do. The exquisite nature of our inner being is so beyond description. And we get to taste it every so often. We have these little moments. I don't know what it is. I mean, I had some cranberry sauce the other day. I haven't had cranberry sauce in a year. I forgot how much, people laugh at cranberry sauce, but it was like, oh my God, I forgot how much I love cranberry sauce. And then on Christmas morning, every year I have pancakes. Blanche makes these pancakes. I don't eat them any other day of the year. But boy, do I love those pancakes. I mean, I love them. And it gives me a sense of, I don't need them 7 days a week, every day of the week for the whole year. I wouldn't even like them then. I'd just weigh 500 pounds. But one day a year, there is a joy in it. I can tell you that kind of specialness that comes out to me in those pancakes comes to me every day in a million different ways because every moment has the freshness of those pancakes. Every moment is cranberries. Every moment is a new discovery or a reminder of how beautiful and wonderful this world is, this existence is, and how lucky we are to be here. And if you don't have the energy, the discipline, and the need to touch what this is, you will miss it, and that will be your loss. And I really am just trying to encourage you to make the effort, get through your resistance, find a way to bring yourself to the table over and over again. It will reward you with its own vibrancy. It will taste so good. This life is worth it. You know, it's short, it has bitterness in it, it has sweetness in it, it has sour in it, it has sugar in it, it has everything in it. But if you don't reach out and taste, it'll be a very dull existence. So I just want to tell you, I wish you all the best for this new year. I really wish that you find the thing I'm talking about, that you recommit to the search, that you overcome your resistance, and you really find your way into the thing that's right in front of you all the time. Lastly, I just want to say, I see Stephen Colbert, he's always selling his book online, on television. And I don't mean to sell my book, but this Christmas season, Blanche and I published our websites, Blanche's website and my website, and BlancheRubin.com and BruceJoelRubin.com. It was a way for us to take charge of and control of our identities in that media world rather than having algorithms figure it out. And so I just encourage you, if you want to know about the class, if you want to know about us on any other level, it's a place to go. And then I also got myself on Instagram. I know almost nothing about Instagram, except it seems to be important how many people you follow and how many people follow you. So if any of you are on Instagram and want to follow me, there's no reward for it at all. There's no ultimate value in it, but I am putting it out there because it seems to be important of how many people follow you. And if you don't want to follow me, it's fine. But there are some really beautiful photographs that are going online that I'm really proud of. I have found a completely new identity in the last 2 years as a photographer. I don't understand where it's coming from. I'm an abstract photographer in a way. I've begun to see the world as kind of a spiritual construct that does not necessarily have total representational aspect, but the images are very strong. They're very spiritually driven. They're very meditative in many ways, and it's a way of sharing my psyche with other people. So I tell you about it, and if you want to check it out, that's fine. If you don't want to check it out, maybe I won't even be a photographer in 6 months. But I am really loving the exploration of the newness of seeing, and I want to share that with you if you want to look at it. So again, Happy New Year. See you next weekend from San Rafael. For those of you who are confused, I moved the camera to a new location in this room in Northridge because there was too much sunlight pouring on me when I was sitting over that way, which you can't see right now. And this is a tanka behind me. Actually, no, it's a peshwari that was given to me by students back in Bloomington era for one of my birthdays. And it hangs in this room. You've probably never seen it. I don't know how much of it you can see right now. Is it showing up? I don't know. But anyway, it's still the same room. It's still Northridge, and I'll be back here in a month. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for coming.